This conference will now be recorded.
Being recorded now.
Okay. Well, I'll just go, I guess. I don't have a video. Maybe I'll just pop on. Maybe we're just a little slow. Good evening. It is 6:30 p.m. on September 20th, 2021. This is an executive session of the City Council of Woodland before our regular meeting at 7 p.m. The council, everyone is present with the exception of Councilmember Plaza at this time. We will be going into executive session for approximately 15 minutes under RCW 42.30.110, Section 1, Subsection I, potential litigation. The time is now 6:31 and we'll be in session for 15 minutes.
This conference will now be recorded.
The time is now 6:46. We'll continue executive session for an additional 10 minutes.
This conference will now be recorded.
The time is now 6:57. We are out of executive session and we'll be starting our regular meeting in 3 minutes.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, the time is now 7:01. It is Monday, September 20th, 2021. If I can get everyone to silence your computers that are watching from home and silence your cell phones for those that are in the gallery, and get everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Oh, what did you fall? Oh, I thought you fell. Ms. Anderson, you take the roll, please.
Here.
Councilmember Brown?
Here.
Councilmember Chapman?
Here.
Councilmember Holland?
Present.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Councilmember Plaza? Councilmember Graham?
Here.
Mr. Plaza has called out this evening with a family issue.
Second.
Motion to excuse by Councilmember Smith, second by Councilmember Fredericks. Mrs. Anderson?
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Frederick?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
All right, we have no presentations or proclamations this evening. Moving on to communications from citizens for items not on the agenda. I have no one signed up at this time. Is there anyone in the gallery that would like to step forward at this time?
Good evening. I'm Jennifer Rakey, the Executive Director of the Port of Woodland, and wanted to let the City Council members know that the Port of Woodland Commission will be holding a workshop on October 6th. There's actually going to be 2 of them, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. to discuss the 426 acre industrial feasibility study. I'm not sure if that's the correct title.
I believe it's the Lewis River Valley Industrial Park.
Okay, so we're talking about the 426 acres that are across from my office.
Okay.
And so, as we've discussed about many times in the past, the commission is very interested about that project. We're looking at taking that developer role on that project, and so the commission has reached out to all of the property owners within that 426 acres. They have reviewed the study, and thank you to Tracy Allman for providing that study to the port. We've been going through it and identifying the options that we have. The commission will be taking feedback from the property owners and looking to see if this is something that they want to adopt within their comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements. Any project that the port takes on that we expend port fund for, we have to identify it in that study. We have a general reference to it in our study, but this would actually identify the items that the commission may look at for financing, developing, and then, of course, those improvements would be the backbone to the industrial park and deeded back over to the city to maintain. So it's key that the port and the city work together on this project. Just because we put the capital investment on, the maintenance then falls onto the city. So we want to make sure everything's identified and constructed properly. So it will be a hybrid meeting. You can attend via the Zoom meeting. The agenda is actually right now on the port website. If you look on our main page, you'll find it. It's the same Zoom link for the 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. There's no RSVP. you can come in person or via Zoom and just listen in. Gibson Olson Rich Fishman is going to be doing a presentation, just very high level about the project, and then for the property owners and the commission. So if you have any questions, please get a hold of me, but hopefully we'll have your participation as well as staff.
Did you say 2 dates or just the 1 date?
It's just on one day.
Okay.
And the reason why we're doing it in October is we actually amend our comp plan, much like you guys, we try to do it once a year. We can do it as many times in a year we want, actually. But we do it during our budget process to look at projects for the next year. We do that at the November 18th meeting. So the commission wants to get the information, start chewing on it, and then decide. So hopefully there'll be some communication between the city and the port on what we would possibly take on. As you know, it's a pretty big apple.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Where was the meeting and what time were they?
October 6th at the port office or via Zoom, and it's 2 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Oh, that's where I got the, I was saying there was 2 times, not 2 dates. Got it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we just figured for property owners and businesses that they could both attend then. The information will be the same at both meetings. So.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. Anyone else for items not on the agenda in the gallery this evening? Anyone online for items not on the agenda this evening? Seeing none, and just so everyone online knows, I can't get the camera to work this evening, so I'm not trying to ghost you. I just equipment's not working. Hopefully you can hear me.
You check the little comment feature?
I think they can. Mr. Ray, can you hear us? Can you send me a text message there on the chat, just so I know that you guys can hear us? Oh. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Joe. All right. Moving on to citizen communications for items on the agenda. I have no one signed up. Anyone in the gallery? Now's your opportunity to step forward.
We can hear you fine.
Oh, thank you. Seeing no one, anyone online for items on the agenda? All right, seeing none. I've come to the portion to discuss the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Frederick, seconded by Councilmember Rounds. Mrs. Anderson.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Frederick?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The agenda has been approved. Moving on to reports of City Council. Mrs. Holland.
I was gonna say something, Thursday is Give More 24, so it's an online fundraising event, and pretty much every nonprofit in Woodland is participating. So we go to givemore24.org, I think it is, givemore with the number 24.org, and type in your favorite Woodland nonprofit, and they're probably on there, and you can donate money, and it's a 24-hour fundraising event. So. I don't know if anybody knew that, so I just thought I'd take the opportunity.
I've been
to share
seeing it.
that.
I just didn't know what it was. Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
I just have a question.
Mr. Fredericks.
Question for Ms. Coleman. Have we, do we have an update on when WashDOT is gonna come out and do some arrow work over there by the, where the lanes turn into one?
They stated that it would be done this year.
Okay.
It's on their schedule, they have not given me an exact date as of yet. But it's probably going to be sooner rather than later because pretty soon the roads are going to be wet. They'll follow up again, we'll come again, see if I can get a date. But as of last time I followed up, they didn't have.
Okay, just
I got one.
sometime this year.
That's what they shared with me.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Coleman.
All right, seeing nothing else. Reports of standing committees, Finance Committee, Mr. Fredericks.
Yes, we met this evening. We reviewed the sales tax report for August 2021. Total sales tax of $238,400 decreased slightly by 1%, or roughly $1,300 when you compare it to the last month, July of 2021. But it increased by 22%, or $43,000 when compared to last year in August 2020. The top 20 businesses sales tax increased by 17% in August 2021 when compared to last year. The majority of the sales tax, equating to 34% of the total top 20 businesses, comes from auto, RV dealers, department and large retail stores, and retail combined from the top 20 businesses comprises 35% of the total top 20. Sales tax revenue is strong in the city of Woodland. We also reviewed the finance reports. Both revenue and expenditures are in line and appear to be looking pretty good. And we're making some progress in our 301 General Reserve Fund, what I would like to refer to as the city's rainy day fund, to match what our financial policies and procedures state for the city. So we're getting close to that number, which is good. We may actually even be there already. And then we reviewed a leak adjustment for the Scandia Motel, and that we just reviewed it. It looks to be in order, and we adjourned at 6:40 or 5:48 p.m. and our next meeting is actually scheduled for October 18th, 2021 in the police meeting room.
Questions for Mr. Fredericks? Seeing none, human resources.
Well, Mr. Twab is not here this evening, so I will report. We didn't have a lot going on. We started at a little bit before 6. We have advertised for clerk 2 position. We're taking applications, and we're still looking for a police officer, and we're in negotiations with clerical and public works. So that's about it. And our next meeting will be Monday, October the 18th.
Questions for Mrs. Rounds? All right, seeing none. Mrs. Graham, chamber report.
The chamber and visitor center is still open 7 days a week from 9 to 4. We still have our luncheons every Tuesday at noon at Casa Cafeteria. So please join us. Our annual meeting where we will be voting on new officers and board members. And I believe that is going to be held here that day. I do not know the particulars of what have been set up for lunch yet because I've been out of town, so I will know that tomorrow. So, you know, we would like representatives from chamber members to come and vote for the new officers for 2022.
When is
And
that going to be, Janice?
on October the 5th. It's the first
Meeting in October.
meeting in October.
Okay.
And then on Thursday, the 23rd, is an after hours at Columbia Bank, and it is involved with the Lucia Foundation with the Give More 24, and that's from 5 to 7.
Is that online only? Okay.
Oh, it was moved. Okay, well, see, there's new information that I am not quite aware of yet then on that situation. So do you have the particulars on that, or
It's on the chamber website.
is it now? Okay.
Yeah, Columbia Bank has an organization, it's not on here.
Okay. Alrighty, thank you. Jennifer is my secretary. That's why she has the information. So, and that's all I know then.
Okay. Any questions for Mrs. Graham? All right, moving on to officer reports. I spoke at chamber on Tuesday. I thought it was very successful. Chief was there with me. Any complaints? Didn't hear any? Okay, good.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
No, it's fine. We covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. So it was great to be there. I haven't been to chamber for a while. So, and there was a nice turnout. I think I had just as many as the chief, if not one more. Oh, I think more too. Yeah, me too. To show up to listen to me.
I was out hunting, otherwise I'd have been there.
Well, I think Mrs. Round called in, so I actually had more people attend. Then, not that it's a competition.
Were questions asked, that's what I.
A lot of questions were asked. A lot of questions were asked. And a lot of good information. I think a lot of good information that has been being talked about for the last few months was kind of given to them. And then questions about striping, especially for Columbia Bank, when it comes to pedestrian safety and those types of things. We were able to have those conversations, which was good. I'm attempting to set up some meetings with a few of the HOAs in town to discuss the ballot measures that are coming out. Hopefully I'll be able to do that by the end of the month when the ballots arrive. And then other than that, I'm working on a few projects I'm not really to discuss at this time, but more to come. Oh, the park. We've been speaking with Sky Hill Park organizers, and we're having some discussions. They need some items signed through the state, so we'll be bringing those through to council at some point here shortly. We just weren't ready for that today. So within the next few meetings, we should have that to you. And that's all I have. Mr. Weiss.
Okay, Councilmember Holland asked for an update on minor contract negotiation. So, myself and Tracy Coleman and Frank have been working on that. We had some delay because of all of the staffing changes in the clerk's office and whatnot. We've been willing to negotiate. They've been open-minded. Tracy Director Coleman has been able to reduce the price of the contract a little bit. That's good. What we're trying to do now is get more detail on the contract about exactly what their scope of service is. So anyone reading the contract will be able to understand what their responsibility is. This week, we should hear back from Lionel with that more detailed list. And then I think shortly after that, depending on if we're satisfied with that, we can come to council for that contract. Excuse me. With that said, the resolutions we passed last year have the bi-monthly billing going to October of this year. I don't think we're going to make that. We're hoping to have transition happen by the end of the calendar year. That's what we're hoping for. So we will have to come back to council to modify that. Any questions?
So did we get an invoice? So it was August. So August, October, and December are the next invoices. So for water, sewer bills. So are you saying then that we're on pace to meet the December deadline for the December billing, or is it going to be February of 2022?
Maybe February of 2022. That's what we're shooting for, and it all depends on if we get our contract signed.
So you're going to be coming to us with a proposal to delay this until then? Okay.
I appreciate you negotiating the price down. I like that.
Thank you for not negotiating it, the price up. Excellent, good combination.
Tracy has been taking a lot of that on.
Tracy's part of my team. I just want to make clear of that. Or I'm sorry, I'm part of Tracy's team. I think it goes that way probably. I'm part of Tracy's team. Home runs all day long. Anything else, Mr. Boyce? Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Boyce this time?
Oh, I have a question
Mrs. Holland.
about utility billing again. So what is the process, because I remember we had this conversation, but what is the process, let's say a senior citizen on a fixed income wanted to get their bill reduced? Because as far as I'm aware, we voted to do that, where they could have their bill lowered. What would the process be if somebody wanted to?
There's an application to fill out for that.
Okay,
So you can find it online or by contacting.
perfect. Thank you.
All right. Yes.
Another thing I want to point out, in the HR report, we talked about that clerk 2 position. So if you remember, we had a vacancy in the clerk 3 position in the clerk's office. We changed the job description, and we're going to clerk 2. We currently have a temporary employee in that, but we're looking for a permanent fix. So it's not an additional position, it's just replacing the vacancy.
Thank you for clarifying that. All right, moving on to consent items.
Move to approve the consent items.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Chapman, seconded by Councilmember Rounds. Mrs. Anderson.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Frederick?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Before we move. to
Yes.
Go ahead. Are you Miss Gothorn? Did I say that?
Oh, you weren't here last meeting.
I wasn't here last meeting?
Yes.
I wasn't.
No, you were
I
not.
missed the meeting. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I had.
This is our new planning
I
commission.
just wanted to say thank you
member.
for standing up and be willing to serve your community. So there's not a lot of folks who are willing to do that. And so I appreciate the fact that somebody who's willing to step up and do something that might be out of their comfort zone. I know it was when I first got on this body, it was out of my comfort zone. Still, there are times when it's out of my comfort zone. So
You just
thank
make
you.
us all uncomfortable now.
And sometimes I make them all uncomfortable. So thank you for stepping up to serve your community.
Thank you, Mr. Fredericks. Moving on to action items. Action item F, adopt ordinance number 1490 regarding business license fee or business licenses, final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Fredericks, second by Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Fredericks.
I have no discussion. I think we've been talking about this for like 6 years now.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yeah, I'm glad we're putting it to bed now.
Further discussion. Seeing no further discussion, Mrs. Anderson, will you please take the roll on action item F, ordinance number 1490, final reading.
Councilmember Brown?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Frederick?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And we've come to the portion for adjournment.
So moved.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas. Can I get a second?
Aye.
Second.
No. Moved by Councilmember Round, seconded by Councilmember Fredericks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The time is 7:23. Thank you for coming out, everybody.